This is going to be a little tinker. Never worked on anything like this before, but my partner picked up this old Sony Walkman. It says Mega Bass. It's an FM AM radio as well as a cassette player. And if you look at the bottom, it's the Sony WM AF57 BF57. I think that says, or that could be 67. Radio cassette player. I think anything from about 1991 onwards. Got it absolutely for free at flea market in a kind of bin of things that they didn't even want to sell. So I brought it home, and I'm curious. I watched quite a few videos of people restoring these. It's really mucky inside the tape area here. The tape, where is it? How do you open it? Here. Oh, I can't open it now. Here we go. It's really dirty and filthy inside. But again, after watching videos, my partner said, yeah, sure, you can tinker with it because the radio works fine, but of course the cassette player doesn't. And I heard and saw on many videos, there's a great guy who restores. He bought about 8 broken old Sony Walkmans, and one by one has repaired them. Sadly, not this particular model. But I thought it inspired me to, have a look inside. I wonder if it's for the same reason. And sure enough, this base plate here, I didn't have to do anything to it. I just literally managed to lever it off. And it came off very, very easily, as you can see. I'll just wiggle it a little bit. There. And if you look inside, you can see clearly that rubber band that drove the wheels that spin the cassette around, clearly, it's all sticky and nasty and horrible. Clearly that's one of the problems why it doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is mess about and tinker and see if I can first of all clean it up, clean all that nasty, corroded, sticky residue from that band off it. And I know you can buy them bands online, and I think some people even try it with elastic bands, so I might even be tempted, in principle, to put some elastic bands around it just to see if when I put batteries in it, the motor does work. If it doesn't, then it's given up the ghost, because I don't know enough about electronics or anything on the board here, if there's any way of testing that. But definitely tempted to try putting something on these wheels to see if the motor does work with a battery in it. So I'll come back and let you know how that goes. First stop, clean up and get rid of the residue of that sticky band. So I've cleaned it up a little. Look, I've got it everywhere. What a horrible job that was. I've used some rubbing alcohol, which I use in a little eyedropper bottle like this, so I can control it a little bit. A few horrible dirty cotton buds. I even used, what I did was I actually cut up the cotton buds as well to produce these really fine little points to get into the pulley, because there was really some muck inside the pulleys and it was quite fine. And so in the end what I did was I got a toothpick, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's little bits of gunk on the bottom of that toothpick. I literally kept splitting the toothpick to produce really fine little pieces, edges. Here's a good example of one. Just that I could really get inside this tiny pulley here, this one here, which was really gunked up on about half of the side of it. It's really difficult to get in there. But I managed to clean it all off, and through trial and error I've gone through a number of different elastic bands that I happen to have in a sorted pack. And I think this is the way it's routed. These bands are obviously too thick. They wouldn't really run like that. But I want to see if, in principle, the mechanism works if I route the band like that. I can't think of any other way it goes. If you just go around these two pieces here, there must be a reason for that there. I'm not really sure what that does. But I'm going to pop it back together. And this section really, literally just snaps on and off like that. Don't have to do anything else to that. Let's pop battery into there. I've tested these batteries to make sure that they are good ones. Let's see. Oops, didn't quite snap in there. Check to see that it's in tape mode. I think, yeah, it's slid into tape mode there. Let's have a look. We can only just really look inside here. Let's just see. Can you see it's moving? It stopped there a little bit. It may be that the band has come off. But it definitely worked for a moment there, inside there. Let's stop that. Let's look inside again. Look. See if that works again. Yeah. I had a look at it just now, and I definitely had it, both forward and reverse was working on that little band, albeit very, very slowly. Oh, interesting. I don't know if that makes any difference to it. Let's try that once more. So what does that say? Forward, reverse, different reverse mode. I don't know if that makes a difference. I haven't quite worked out how to take this lid off yet, but I'd like to have a go. Oh, did you hear that? Look at that. That's moving. And I can feel the little capstan down here moving. Let's try it in the other way. Stop that. Oh, look, that's reverse. That works. Forward. Ooh. Ooh. It's trying, look. Cool. So, and that wouldn't really play a cassette at that speed. But what that shows is the actual mechanism inside there for moving all the parts there off the belt does actually work. But the next thing is, would it really work? Is it worth investing in buying the correct belt for it and popping it in? I think clearly I've got the routing right on it. Just a quick one, I had to do it. I gave a call to my partner to let her know that I'd had a go at messing about with this, and asked if there were any tapes in the house, and sure enough, we've got Simply Red cassette tape here. As you know, it doesn't work, but I wanted to show you that with the tape in, if we look for a little window there, the functions do actually work. That's, I think, winding it forward. Actually, it rewinds it quite fast there. I think it's near the end. But I've put headphones in, and playing it, although it turns, it's kind of really, really slow and clearly not playable. But again, I'm quite pleased to show that the functionality of it definitely works with a cassette tape in it. I wanted to know if it would, that little elastic band rather than a belt was really going to be strong enough to turn all the mechanism here with the cassette in, and it does seem to function. So I think it's definitely worth buying a cheap set of belts and picking one out and see if we can make it work. So yeah, again, thanks for your patience. It was worth, I think, just showing that it did work with the cassette in there. So have an awesome day. Cheerio. Bye.